Hello there, and welcome to the TheButtonMashEffect show. I'm Liam Edwards, I'm a writer at hoodgamers.com. I want to start my own YouTube channel today and hopefully get my opinions across to some people. I was inspired by a few other YouTube videos such as Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Robman, those kind of guys, and I thought with the new year, 2012 now being here, and all these massive titles we're hearing about now, the PlayStation Vita, the Wii U, I would first of all start my first video talking about what's coming up in the new year and my opinions on these games. So let me start by getting on to the game I'm waiting for most this year, Mass Effect 3. I can't wait for that game. I actually got to play a demo of it way back at Gamescom in Germany. I was lucky enough to travel over there. First impressions of it was it's very combat orientated, with a heavy usage of combat rolls and melee attacks, stuff that we haven't seen Shepard do before, and it was enjoyable, but it was kind of not what I was expecting. I mean, a lot of people are saying that it's going to progress to just be an action RPG and that it's going to be solely focused around combat, and I hope it won't. I have faith in BioWare to create a game that people will love, and it will stick very true to the original story and hopefully give a good ending to what has been, quite frankly, one of my favourite trilogies of any game in recent memory. I was obsessed with 2, I had to 100% it and everything. Such a brilliant game, and I'm just hoping that 3, has the ability to give me as much sort of joy and involvement as number 2 did, and hopefully we can end the story of Shepard on a nice, good high. So secondly, I'm going to talk to you about Final Fantasy 13-2. This is a game that's not really on my radar at all. I mean, I was very hyped up for 13, and then unfortunately played it and I was quite disappointed with it. Never really actually finished the game. A friend of mine actually finished my copy before I got rid of it. So 13-2 isn't something I'm looking forward to in a sense, but I'm a sucker for Final Fantasy games, and I have played the demo of 13-2. I got to play it back at Eurogamer, and it was a boring demo, a very boring demo, but it did solve the sort of niggly bits about the first one's combat. It's a lot more fast-paced, and obviously it has the quick-time events added in, which is such a poor choice. If Square Enix thinks it can rely on quick-time events to save its game, they're going wrong. I mean, they have to solely focus on the RPG elements of the old ones and the character development, much like 7 and 9. Fantastic character stories, fantastic characters. Let's hope they can do that again. I'm not saying the characters of 13 were bad, they were actually quite interesting, especially Lightning. She was a bit moody, to say the least. But yeah, I probably will still pick 13-2 up when it comes out. I mean, I've heard in Japan they're not liking it at the moment, so we'll have to see. So another game that's actually on my radar is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I'm a big fighting game fan, and I played Street Fighter 4 to death, and I played Super Street Fighter 4 to death, and then I played a lot of AE, and I'm a big Marvelous Capcom 3 player. So Street Fighter Cross Tekken, as soon as it was announced, I was a bit edgy because I'm not a fan of the Tekken series at all. I really don't like the style of it, and I was hoping that Capcom would have a lot more way with it than Namco would, and obviously with it being Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Tekken versus Street Fighter, Capcom obviously had a lot of influence in the first one. And once again, I actually got to play a demo of it back at Gamescom in Germany, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. The combat was fantastic. It was a lot like a cross between Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom's quite crazy sort of zany fighting style, combos all over the place, the ability to juggle people, that kind of thing, and it looks fantastic. The Tekken characters don't look out of place at all in the Street Fighter sort of esque art style. The backgrounds are amazing, and it's just looking really good. I absolutely can't wait for that one. I actually got to meet Ono back in the Capcom press booth there, and I was telling him my thoughts on it, and he was saying that he was looking forward to the Tekken community playing it and the Street Fighter community sort of accepting Tekken players and that kind of thing. So yeah, that is definitely one to look out for, and if you're a fan of fighting games, you should definitely be picking that one up. I want to move on to the PlayStation Vita, the big one this year for me. I've played the Vita and it's absolutely fantastic. I couldn't get over how the weight and the sort of shape of it was so comfortable in your hands, and the dual analogs were fantastic. I was overwhelmed when I saw Uncharted The Golden Abyss for the first time. It blew my mind how something so sort of small could be such crystal clear on a screen. I'm a big fan of handheld gaming. I have the 3DS, I own a DS, PSP, and I play a lot of handheld games a lot. And I couldn't get over how this basically was a console experience in my hands. The screen was fantastic. I couldn't get over how amazing Uncharted looked. It was brilliant and the controls were perfect. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. I have to have this. And luckily enough, within 1 month's time, we will all be hopefully playing the Vita. Obviously, currently there is a sort of influx in Japan where the sales have been dipping and it's not been picked up quite as quickly as people expected it to be, with the PSP sort of not having a great life over in the US and here in the UK, or anywhere else in Europe to be fact. It did really well in Japan, and I think the Japanese press and we were expecting that it would shift quite a lot of units within the first couple of weeks, being that the PSP was a big seller and a lot of Japanese gamers like to play the PSP. But no, it's only sold just over 500,000 units now. That's not great for Sony. But as with the 3DS had a very slow start and not many people were keen to pick it up or didn't think the lineup was great. Whereas the PlayStation Vita, the lineup is one of the best I can remember. I mean, it's got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Gravity Rush, Uncharted, Katamari, Army Corps from Hell, Unit 13. There's a whole massive list of absolutely what's looking to be great titles, and still no interest in Japan at the moment, but there's a lot of interest in the US at the moment with the reviews from IGN, 1UP and all the other big sites getting their hands on units now, and they're all saying it's a great piece of technology, they're loving it. You know, obviously there is a lot of comparisons between iPad gaming and tablet gaming and how handheld is sort of evolved to that, but that's something I really don't want to get confused. I mean, I like playing with my tablet and I like playing with my phone gaming, but it's not a gaming experience for me, whereas a handheld such as DS and a PSP, I can get involved for hours playing these games and they feel like, to me, they are a console experience in my hands. I'm really gaming. So hopefully Sony won't feel the need to sort of add in tablet and phone kind of applications. You know, obviously it's going to be 3G, so there's going to be some sort of data sort of applications to download for it and that kind of thing, Skype, Facebook. But I hope they solely focus on the gaming elements of it, because the PlayStation Vita is a hardware that has the capabilities to really change the handheld market. Nintendo should be worried if people start to pick up with it. So the Vita's going to be brilliant. I mean, obviously I've said the lineup is fantastic. I can't wait. Day 1, Uncharted, Unit 13. Actually, I'm a big fan of the FIFA games, and FIFA 12 port for the Vita is exactly the same as the console one, but it has some features like touch passing, and you can, with the back of the Vita, you can actually like touch the back, and it's kind of like the square of a goal, and the ball will go there. That's looking absolutely fantastic. So there are a couple of games that I'm ready to play, and I really can't wait for the PlayStation Vita. So that's kind of the big one for me in 2012. So this makes me come to the Wii U and the quite surprising E3 conference from last year, where Nintendo, obviously Project Cafe was the nickname for it, and then a lot of people I think were expecting a very branching sort of next generation console from Nintendo from the Wii. People were expecting very much hardcore gamer-esque style, back to the same sort of days as, you know, the Super Nintendo and that kind of thing. Very first party Nintendo and, you know, third party development. But the Wii U was announced. Not to say it was disappointing or anything, it was actually a very interesting concept. I mean, it's kind of like sort of handheld gaming in your house, and the ability to play things on this screen as well as the TV and then have your maps and stuff. I really like the idea and I think it's going to be very good, but I think Nintendo sort of played it the wrong way. I think they very much thought it would really solve the problem of hardcore gamers not playing the Wii, but it's kind of just aggravated the problem a bit more because the controller's, you know, a bit big and it's not very comfortable, a lot of reports are saying, and I highly doubt that many people who play stuff like Call of Duty and Battlefield and that kind of game are really going to purchase it on the Wii U instead of their Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 or 4 or Xbox 720 or whatever is the next generation. But the Wii U has the capability to have, you know, HD Zelda, HD Mario, Mario Kart HD, all these sort of fantastic first-party Nintendo games, all with the ability to utilise the screen on the controller. I mean, the screens of Dragon Quest X online, I mean, I can't believe a better controller, really. I mean, you have the touchscreen so you can type, you can pick your inventories, you can have your friends list on there, and then you can play the screen just on the TV. And I hope one of my ideal-esque ideas with the Wii U is that we do away with heads-up displays and UIs on the screen, and we just have what's going on in the game, and then all your information can be on the bottom screen, so you don't have to look, you don't have all these, you know, distractions like your ammo or your life bar or your items or anything like that. You can have the experience going on, and then you can have the bottom screen with your items, and that would be the ideal sort of reason to own a Wii U. And I hope many third-party developers pick up on this, and that the Wii U can be successful. I mean, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I own a GameCube, the Wii, the SNES, the NES, the DS, Game Boy, and they're all fantastic consoles, and the Wii itself has merits such as Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mad World, loads of games that I loved in the past, Mario Kart Wii, and a lot of third-party developers didn't really jump on the bandwagon to develop for it. So hopefully with the HD upgrade and the power that Nintendo are claiming the Wii U has is going to inspire them to create more games for it. So I can see it being a good one, and I can see it being expensive as well, because the controller looks very expensive. It kind of looks like a tablet or a big handheld device, so the controller I can imagine is going to be in the upwards to, you know, 150 to 200 pounds, so I'll just have to wait and see. Reports coming out of CES in Vegas at the moment say that Nintendo are saying that the Wii U could be released between June and December, anytime in there, so hopefully we will be seeing it this year. Obviously with E3 coming up in May, June, there's hopefully plenty of time that we can find out information about it and hopefully start to see some games, because all we've seen so far is tech demos. But hopefully we can see it, and yeah, the Wii U is definitely one to look out for. So another couple of games that I'm looking forward to this year that I won't go into great detail is, there's a lot of games coming out in the next 2 months, stuff like Soul Calibur 5, obviously I'm a big fighting game fan. I've never really jumped on the Soul Calibur bandwagon. I played them on and off, experimentally and casually. Played a lot of Soul Calibur 2 back in the day on the GameCube. Soul Calibur 5 is looking very good. I mean, you've got Ezio in it, so that could be very interesting. I haven't played any demos of it yet, but a lot of Soul Calibur fans are looking forward to that, so that's definitely one to look out for. Another game I'm looking out for is Metal Gear Solid 3D and Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance. Obviously there was a lot of up in the air about what's happening with Metal Gear Solid Rising. I'm a massive Metal Gear Solid fan myself. I love Kojima's games, I think they're fantastic. I've been waiting for Snake Eater 3D to come out for a long time, since I've owned my 3DS actually. And I got to play the demo of it back at Eurogamer, and I was very impressed with the controls and how it looked, and the 3D looked fantastic. So that's definitely one to pick up. I mean, if gamers have already picked up the HD collection, or when it gets released over here in the UK, it might not be worth picking it up, but if you own a 3DS and you want to play Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater 3D is absolutely going to warrant your purchase. It's looking fantastic and the controls are great. Metal Gear Solid Rising on the other hand, wow. The announcement a couple of weeks ago at the VGAs that Platinum Games have jumped on the bandwagon to do the development for the game is what I think is great news. I mean, I'm a big fan of Platinum's games. Vanquish and Bayonetta are two of my favourite games in the past couple of years. Bayonetta especially was absolutely mind-blowingly good. So hopefully they bring a lot of the Bayonetta-esque combat and the sort of Vanquish's high-paced action to Metal Gear Solid. I mean, obviously it's a spin-off. It's involving riding between Metal Gear Solid 4 and hopefully it'll develop his character a bit more. I know a lot of people aren't fans of him at all because of Metal Gear Solid 2. Obviously he is sort of the pretty boy, sort of not the grisly sort of action hero that we're so used to in our love of Snake. But hopefully he's a cool looking cyborg ninja now. Hopefully it'll bring some cool action as well. With Platinum on board, I think Kojima has made a very good decision, and we could get some absolutely brilliant gameplay out of that game. And the ability to cut anything seems really interesting, so that's definitely a game I'm looking forward to and I can't wait. So 2012 is looking like it's going to be a great year for gaming. I mean, it's got a lot to live up to in 2011. 2011 brought us games like LA Noire, Deus Ex, Skyrim, Dark Souls, and a whole manner of other games that just blew my mind, Uncharted as well. So 2012 has stuff like Mass Effect 3, Final Fantasy 13-2, the PlayStation Vita, the Wii U, a whole host of 3DS games, Soul Calibur 5, Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, Inversion, Never Dead. There's quite a big host of games that are coming out last year that definitely get gamers excited. Obviously January is a bit slow so far, but February is looking to be the kick-off for the year, with Final Fantasy being out on the 3rd and then the PlayStation Vita out on the 22nd in North America and the UK. It's looking like it's going to be a fantastic year. Let's just hope it carries on. Thanks for watching, and until next time.